Hi everybody, it's Ben here at Glide. We are recording a very short video today just to look at how we go about setting up the link between your Glide system and your Xero accounting system. Just to be clear, that's the Xero, sort of blue Xero as some would call it, the Xero accounting system for your own practice. This is not looking at how to link to your client Xero systems. This is for syncing your own customers, and if you use Glide Time, the invoices for those customers as well. Okay, so I am logged into my demo system here. I've actually got the demo data active, and you can go ahead and get this demo data imported into your system as well if you would like to look at the exact same information that we're seeing here. We've got 20 clients here. In the second tab, I've got a Xero system ready to go, so we can see how this works. I'm actually not logged in right now, just so that when I authenticate my Xero system, it will ask me to log in. If you're already logged in, it would jump over that step, which is great, but I want you to see every step on this video. And what I've done is these 20 clients, I've actually created 2 of them already in Xero. That's just because I wanted the video to show you how our linking by client ID, that's the ID we've got here, so DEM001, DEM002, etc. I want to show you how that works. So I've set up one client with an appropriate client ID, and I've also set up another client with the name matching, not the client ID. So I think I did James Bond. I think I did Snowden Train. I've got linked by ID, and then we've got James Bond in there as well. So we're going to see how all the different options work. So first of all, let's go ahead and make the link. So you're logged into Glide. First thing, a couple of points to make here. I'm sure you are, but make sure that your login for Xero is a sort of full login, not one of the more sort of restricted sales invoice type logins. We want someone with a full login. And in Glide, you're going to need to be a super user. And if you're not, you won't see the config menu, and you'd need to ask a super user to do this. So click on config, click on Xero integration. That will bring you to this screen. And top right corner here, we'll see the button activate. So go ahead and click on that and OK. So we've kind of switched on the Xero integration feature, and before we can start using it, we need to click on the Connect to Xero icon here. And that's going to bring us to the sort of familiar login screen for Xero. This is their new login screen. And it's actually already got my email and password in, which is great. So I'm going to click Login. We'll give it a second just to get me logged in there. Cool. Okay, so it's saying here Glide Practice Management, that's us, wants access to. And these are the things we're asking for access for: contacts, business transactions. Of course, they are the important things we need because we sync contacts and invoices. I think the organization settings, that's perhaps so we can grab things like account codes and tax rates. Now, really important point here, my login at Glide Demo at whatsglide.com only has one Xero system, but I know lots of accountants will have Xero logins and they have access to all of their client Xeros. So if that's you, you're going to see a drop down here. And of course, it is really important that you select the correct Xero system. We don't want you to link your Glide up to one of your clients. So just take a moment to make sure you're selecting the right system there. They're in alphabetical order. So just pick out the appropriate one and click Allow Access. And basically that is it. Our 2 systems are linked. Let's just give that a moment to come back and say it's happy. Yeah, cool. There it is. So that's brought us back in Glide to the Xero integration page. We've got a nice green message here now saying we're all up and running. It's connected to Glide Demo. That's the name of my organization there. So just glance at that, check you have done the appropriate one. Right, what else do we need to run through here? Well, what I want to cover in this video is the actual kind of linking of clients. And, there could be a few different scenarios here. So in my scenario, I've got my clients in Glide. I've got those 20 clients. And I've clearly just created my Xero system. So I want to get those 20 clients over to Xero. I have created, as I said before, 2 clients in Xero. It might be that you already have all of your clients in Xero and Glide, and you're just linking them. And this video will touch on that process as well, because of course I have created those 2 clients already in Xero. So it might well be that you're doing 500 clients and they both exist already on both systems. Important thing to mention here, if you are in the scenario where you've got all of your clients on Xero, but not on Glide, maybe you're new to Glide, what you do there is you would actually export those clients from Xero and use our Excel import tool to bring them in. Now, it might be that in the future we look to help out a bit more with that, but at the moment, the reason why I've always done it that way is that in Glide, the client type choice, so like limited, LLP, charity, that sort of thing, that's really important to us to make sure we generate the appropriate deadlines. And of course, being an account system, Xero has no need for that. So we don't create clients in in Glide from Xero. Anyway, let's go ahead and have a look at how we do this. We've got a few options that we can play around with first. Let's just briefly glance at those. It's worth looking at these before you import your clients because, for example, do we want to send the email address and the address? You know, if you switch that to yes, which I think I'll do, then when we first sync these, it's going to send my email address and primary address over to Xero. So that's cool. What else we've got here? Well, the first 2 settings here are to do with invoicing. That's not the topic of this video, so I'm going to ignore those, as is the 4th one. This 3rd one is relevant. If I switch this over to yes, then Glide will not send individual clients to Xero. I don't see it being used too often, but some of our customers will have a scenario where they always send the bills to the organisation, whether it's a company, partnership, or whatever, and they actually don't want all of those individual clients bringing into their Xero. So you can choose whether to switch that on. I'm going to leave it as no. I want my people sending over to my Xero system. Finally, this one down here, this is about importing invoices from Xero. Again, not the topic of this video, so I'm going to leave it as no. So let's scroll down here. What's this telling me? It's telling me that in Glide I've got 20 clients. Absolutely none of them are linked to Xero. So that's what we're going to fix in a moment. We're going to want to see that getting up to 20. Clients without a link, 20, we want that to go down to 0. And we've got 2 options here to achieve that in a sort of automated fashion. If you want to do it completely manually, you can link them manually. But of course, the bigger the numbers get, the more time there is to be saved using these 2 sort of wizards, as we call them. So how do they work? What do they do? Well, the first one says link clients via Glide client code and Xero contact number. Let's just talk about what that's going to do in a bit more detail. So in Glide, we have the client ID. I've simply called mine DEM and then 1 through to 20. If we go on the client card, you see it there. You know, what's nice about this data point is that in Glide, it has to be unique. So every client has its own client code. You know, you might have a lot of Mr. Smiths, but they'll all have to have a unique client code. It makes it a really great sort of piece of data for setting up integrations. Now, can you use this? Well, the answer to that question, just let me log into Xero here. The answer to that question will depend on how you've used Xero up until this point. So let's have a look at my contacts. So I've got Snowdon Train here. If you have populated the account number with that same bit of information, client code, then yes, you can use this tool to link. What this tool can do is it can link those clients that already exist on both systems, a bit like Snowdon Train here. It's not going to create new clients in Xero, this button. That's the next one. So, you know, this is particularly good where you do have a tendency for names to be a bit different. So classic example here, on Glide, I've got Snowdon Train Ltd, and on Xero, I've got Snowdon Train Limited. I mean, very easy to end up with that confusion, but that will that will prevent our second option, link clients via name. That won't work for this client. What it will do is it will look at Snowden Train Ltd and it will say, oh no, can't find that in Xero, I'm going to create it. So, if you do have the luxury of having your account numbers set up, then, fantastic, let's do that. So we're going to go ahead first of all and link by client code to contact number. And what I'm expecting here is that it will find one, because on my Xero, I've only got 2 contacts set up and only one of them has an account number that matches. So James Bond here, he doesn't have an account number. So let's go and click that button. And first of all, when I click it, that just does a preview. Nothing has happened. That's simply a preview. Let's look at what it's saying. It is saying 20 clients on Glide, 20 clients on Glide that don't already have a Xero connection. Worth pointing out, we're going to ignore anything that's connected already. 2 clients found in Xero. And we believe that one of them can be matched using this method. It's called Snowden Train Limited in Glide, DEM002, and in Xero it's Snowden Train Limited, but crucially DEM002. We're just putting Xero's global identifier here. It's you don't need to worry about this, but that is the bit of data that we're going to store in Glide. So the ongoing link, let's say, when you change the name of this client or create an invoice, the ongoing link is using this globally unique identifier. So you don't have to worry about names or account numbers matching going forward. That's just how we're doing the initial setup. I'm going to go ahead and connect these clients now, and that's done. Okay, so great news here. We're making progress. Glide clients 20, clients with Xero link 1, clients without link 19. So in my example here, that only got me the 1 client linked, but let's say you've got 1,000 clients in your practice and 850 have the client code matching. Fantastic. You've just done 85% of your sort of setup process there in one go. That's wonderful. So once you've exhausted that option, if you can use that option, once you've done it, come on to the second option. Of course, if you don't have client codes in Xero and you don't wish to set that up, come straight onto this second option. This is the one for you. Link clients via name. Now this one is different. So let's talk through how this one works. First of all, it's going to, again, ignore the client that's already linked. We're only worried about clients that aren't linked to Xero here. It's going to take all of our Glide clients, all of these 19 here. Crucially, we're going to ignore the Snowden Train. That's done. It's going to take the other 19 clients. It's going to search in Xero. And where it finds a client with the exact same name, it will link them. Okay, it won't create any new clients, it will link them. If it doesn't find the client in Xero, it will create the client in Xero. So if you click this second option, you will end up with all of your clients being linked. Okay, but the trick is to look at the preview and check that. Basically, let's go ahead now and click the preview. So click the button and it will do the sort of preview. Let's see what results we've got here. Okay, this is interesting. Cool. So I'm glad. I didn't actually intend for this to happen, but something interesting has happened here. Basically, all of my 19 here have got the feedback, a client with this name has not been found on Xero. If you proceed, Glide shall create a new client on Xero. That's kind of what I want to happen, but James Bond, I was expecting that client to be found. Now, I know why, and this is the sort of thing, when you do the preview, you'll definitely have the same thing. You'll have some that you were thinking, oh, I'm sure that exists on Xero, but it's not finding it. It's going to be because the name is subtly different. So taking the last option with that Snowden Train, if we hadn't have had the luxury of the codes matching, to use this method, we'd have had to have changed LTD to limited or limited to LTD. We'd had to have made the names matched. The same thing's happening here with James Bond, because I think in Xero, I think his name is Mr. James Bond. So let me just work out how to change his name. Probably edit. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to change him to be James Bond. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to come back to this screen and I'm going to try again. Okay, clicking that button again. Great. Okay, so now we've got our 19 clients here. 18 of them will be created on Xero. But look, James Bond, we have found him on Xero. We're going to link the existing client contact and we won't create a new one. So basically, I'm happy now that all of this preview is proposing to do exactly what I want to happen. I'm going to link my existing clients. I'm going to create those new ones in Xero. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's click Begin Connection Process. This is going to go through now and create 18 clients, and it's going to link one client. That's James Bond. We'll just give this a little while to get that done, and then I think we'll finish this video. This is effectively the end of what we're trying to achieve here. We'll have our clients linked, but we'll go ahead and just look at some of the deep links we've got in the system. That's a nice way of checking everything's worked how we would expect it to. So feedback we've got here is, yep, great, they all worked. If Xero had a problem with adding any of these, it would have sent us an error message. I don't see why there would be any problems, but do just glance at your feedback here and check you are happy. That's all green and all sounds positive, so I think we're all good there. If we come into Xero now and go all contacts, we should see our 20. There we go, 20 contacts. That's fantastic. Haven't been very imaginative with the test email addresses there, but let's just go into Alice here. And yeah, because we've got our contact code, we've got our email, we've got our address. Of course, the email and the address were because I tweaked those settings. So do just think about whether you want to do that or not. Okay, I'm going to close that Xero window. And in my Glide clients, let's close that down as well. I'm just going to refresh this one as well. Let's now go and look at, for example, Grasmere Books. And what you should see is you've got a view on Xero. That's what Xero call a deep link. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to bring up Grasmere Books. That's nice and reassuring. There's the global identifier we spoke of. You don't really need to worry about that, but that is the thing that's powering the integration. You can kind of hover over the Xero there and see that. Let's just look at the Snowdon train. That was the one we linked by code. I mean, it's linked now, so you don't need to worry. You could change those codes if you wanted to, though I wouldn't recommend it. And on the ones that were linked by name, you could change the name, though again, I wouldn't really recommend it. Okay, yeah, let's click on James Bond. Where's he gone? Here he is. And let's just say view on Xero. There we go, takes us to James, fantastic. Okay, I think that's 18 minutes. That's everything I wanted to achieve in this video. As I say, this shows you how to link your Glide system to your Xero system. You can access this demo data as well. You might have done that already, in which case you could follow through this example. Although I suppose you don't really want our pretend clients in your Xero, so probably better to go ahead and do this with your real data. Okay, so yeah, if we can help you in any way, please don't hesitate to get in touch with the Glide team. Thanks very much.